Here we
Welcome
are
to Friday
again.
Live. We're back in town. We're
Living the
back
dream.
together.
Oh, no, it's good to be back.
We were remote. You were in the
We were.
office and I was in Brisbane last Friday.
That's right.
We've had a huge response to last week's live. So,
look who's on, Mark.
hey, Mark was supposed to be here today, but he's held up.
No, we got a huge response last week. Now, next Friday, just to preempt, I'm actually in.
Next Friday's Good Friday.
Oh,
We'll all be away.
there you go.
So we're having a break for Easter, yeah?
Right.
What are you
Yeah,
doing
cool.
for Easter?
Well, I'm starting it in Perth. I'm not back till Good Saturday.
Work or?
Yeah, work.
Oh, you're working.
Mm,
You're working over Easter.
yeah. Oh, people have
How
got to be.
fast has Easter come around?
People have got to be helpful for us.
They do. People have got to be
Leaders
helpful.
need
And
help. girl.
you're always going to be there to help
Absolutely.
them. You don't do
Thanks,
that.
Phil.
Clean
Thank
your
you.
dirty
On
and
my
clean
cleaning
shirt.
shirt. You know.
Hi, Turbo Tim.
Oh, we love Tim.
Turbo Tim and
Tim's the
Paul.
lad.
Welcome.
Tim did a video for me
Welcome.
today, testimonial video.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, good on you,
He's
Tim.
our first person. Tim, you are the bomb, man.
Yeah.
Tim's our first person to go through our online leadership training. Did I tell you we're online leadership trainers?
That's great.
We've got this 6-element leadership training course online.
You're a bit.
Online.
Yeah, I don't know why we're a bit
Freaking
skewiff
Did I
today.
repeat that? Did I say that aloud enough?
Online leadership.
Online.
Oh, another Mark West.
All nudge.
Surely that's not his photo.
Oh, that's what I mean. That's the one that spins me out
Oh,
every time
yes,
see
I was
it.
going to say that's him. Yeah.
Alrighty, so should we
Big
now?
week.
I talked through what happened last night. You went to
I
the
went to
musical?
Rocky to see Infamous.
How was it?
Oh my God, I have
it good?
never seen anything like it in my life. It was. I'm still. My heart is literally
No.
still racing from it. The adrenaline was just. It was. It's an 18 over 18 circus. So they set it up in the big top like a circus. But these guys, seriously, you talk about strength.
Big time.
Yeah, like a tent, like a circus tent. It's in a circus tent up at Anderson Park in Rocky. You know, you have a huge appreciation for the body when you start doing weight and strength training.
And you know what it takes,
these guys, honestly, their arms were just the
boppers.
trapezing and it's just
Were they as big as yours?
way bigger.
Way bigger than these big
Way
guns.
bigger. I've got a jacket on today, guys. I'm
I know, we can't see
freezing.
guns. Hey, Mark Couple says, sorry guys, QAL needs me more.
Oh, that's okay,
And that's
Mark.
absolutely right.
We know.
There's
We're not
aluminum-
going anywhere.
There's aluminum to be produced.
There is.
We
There
need to
is.
Produce that shit because we need cans
Yes,
and windows.
we do need. Yeah, we do.
Stay on the job, my man.
Yes, and yeah, windows. I like
And
you saying
We
windows.
need windows, don't we? Kelly
do.
Johnson.
We do. So yeah, definitely. We're trying to get. We talked to the owners of Infamous, the guys that run it, and we had a chat to them last night. I went up there with my friend Graham, who's one of the managers at the Rocky Glen, and yeah, he had a chat to them about seeing if they would come to Gladstone because they're heading up the coast to Cairns and then coming back down through the central Queensland area.
Right.
It would be if they come to town, guys. Seriously, you need
Get
to
that.
go. It's
that good?
So good. Honestly, I can't even explain how good it is. The juggling and it's way bigger than any circus. Oh, just this guy has these 3 luminous balls and he juggles them in his hand. Then 4, it looks like they're just floating around in his hand. They have cabaret singers. They have comedy. The whole thing was
Were they
just
funny?
amazing. Oh God, worth every cent.
Funny as fuck.
Funny
What was the
as.
funniest joke they said?
There was no joke. It was
Right.
Well, it's over 18, so.
I know, it was a few dirty jokes.
Well, you probably see. Well, it's not like stand-up comedy. It's
Right.
this weedy little guy goes out and he's got this huge big balloon, and he sticks it on his head. It's like massive. I think people have seen this on the TV ad, but then he actually climbs inside the balloon and he's bouncing around and dancing inside the balloon. And when he pops the balloon, there's a bit of a surprise. So,
Really?
oh, it's so awesome. Honestly, guys, I'm not going to give it all away, but if you get a chance to go, they're still on up in Rocky for 3 more shows this weekend,
Guins and Ros,
and then they're heading to Alley Beach. So big rap for Infamous up in Rocky. Totally worth the trip up for the night. It was just freaking awesome, I tell you. So there's a few things on tonight. Just been talking to some guys here. I have no idea about the details, but they're telling me that there's an escape room on tonight. It's kind of like a haunted house. I don't know the details. If anyone knows anything about it, it sounds awesome. If you like that, they lock you in a room and you've got to find your way out. So, yes.
Not my sort of thing.
No, but
You know what it sounds like? It sounds
my
like,
kids would love that.
it sounds like confined space entry training.
It does.
Where they lock you up
It
in
does.
like a shipping container and you're
Hey,
smoking
Belinda.
stuff and you can't see
Thank you
stuff.
for joining.
I'm watching
Hi,
you
Troy,
live.
Nigel, Troy. We've got 2
Elliott,
Troys. Troy Postel.
Good cricketer
Belinda,
back in the day.
Harry. Oh, there's Harry.
Harry
That's
all the
one
way
of
from
them.
he is. And
Bradley,
Brad Richardson.
Kelly.
So
Another
Oh,
couple of things on this weekend. The Gangster and Rappers Ball is on tomorrow night.
ABBA's on tonight.
Yeah, ABBA's on tonight here at the Entertainment
Would you
Centre.
go to ABBA? You an ABBA
Oh,
fan?
absolutely.
You
I'm
go?
a huge ABBA fan. I actually like the ABBA tribute shows when they're at the tavern or the pub because I can dance. You can't dance to the one here, but it would still be a great show.
Have you seen this mob before?
No, I haven't seen them,
So
but
don't
I
know
would
if
strongly recommend anyone who's an ABBA fan
Go
get
to-
on it.
So they
Get
do a
on
good
it.
job, these ABBA.
I believe
bands?
so.
Right,
Yeah.
cool.
There's also the Gangster and Rapper. I think it's Gangster and Flappers Ball tomorrow night for Rotary. So I think is it Rotary? I think. So that's on tomorrow night.
Cool.
There's also this weekend. There's something else. What else was on tomorrow night? The big Boyne Valley Country Music Festival's on
Is there
this
really?
weekend out
Where's
in the
that at?
valley. They have it out there every year.
Who's playing out there?
There's heaps of people, lots of locals singing. They have it every year. Yeah, I think Elders are still sponsoring that.
I heard last weekend, because I haven't been down to BAM for a while, I heard how good BAM is at the moment.
Yeah, they've got their permanent stage and everything there now. It's awesome.
It is,
Only a couple of weeks till the hookup, guys. So get on that. If you haven't got your tickets for the Boyne Tanham hookup, then get on it.
Where's Eliza?
May Day
McGuire?
weekend.
Eliza's usually here.
I don't think she's working. I haven't seen her today.
I saw her the other day working.
Yeah, she big Boyne Tanham hookup this weekend. Over $300,000 in prizes. $300,000 in prizes. We have an awesome area. Biggest fishing festival in Australia.
Someone wins a boat.
There's
Do they
heaps of
still have
boats. They give heaps of
No.
boats away now.
Really?
Yeah, even kids can win a boat. Yeah, even the kid. Have you never been to the hookup?
No.
Anton.
I know, I should. I'm just not a fisherman.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a fisherman.
I
Hey, you could
Is
just be a boat owner.
know. I could.
There's a lot of people that just own a boat and it sits out the front and they just say,
That's
I own a boat.
It's true. Hey, talking about...
Happy Friday, Karen.
So you went last night and saw
Infamous.
Infamous. What's your best musical you've ever seen?
Oh, Grease. I saw Grease at South Bank.
Yeah.
And you know who was the MC was Bert Newton.
No.
Yeah, on
Any good?
Moonface.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh, Moonface.
the funniest thing was right at the start of the show, some guy got up on stage and called his girlfriend up and proposed to her on stage.
Is that right?
Yeah, it
Go
was
the
sweet.
team. Go the team.
What's the best musical you've ever seen?
Oh, Jersey Boys.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see them in Vegas, but I didn't get around to it.
I was down in Sydney when I went down to see the homeless people that time,
Oh yeah.
and they happened to be on the Saturday night at Capitol Theatre. And Capitol Theatre is, if you're going to go and see a musical, seriously, fly to Sydney.
Wow, I
Down
have
there.
heard they're really good.
So
And they've been going
freaking
for years, haven't they?
Oh, forever.
I wanted to see Celine Dion in Vegas too, because she's supposedly really good.
I'm just gonna
What's
go
the best concert you've ever seen?
Well, that's a good question because I ask that question regularly at my sessions, as an icebreaker.
Yeah.
What's your best music concert? And it always, for Jules and I, seems to be the last one we went to.
Oh, so it's the freshest in your mind.
Yes, the
There's something in
recency
that.
bit. Oh, I know. So for a while it was Pink because Pink was so good
Pink's
last year.
every concert I've been to
Oh,
for Pink
I know.
is just phenomenal,
And
and
then-
it's the performance, not just the singing. The performance is unbelievable.
And then Phil Collins walked out on a walking stick.
Yeah, are you
So
talking?
he
That was
dusty.
recently.
Oh, 3 months ago.
I saw Elton John in Mackay. That was
You
brilliant.
did.
Best,
Oh.
hands down, music-wise, the two best concerts I've ever seen are Keith Urban and the Eagles.
Keith Urban.
Keith Urban, if you like music, he's got like 18 guitars lined up on
No.
stage, and throughout the
Goes
show
nuts.
he just plays banjos and all sorts of
And
things.
can I tell you, were you at the Johnny Diesel concert last year with us when we were
Yeah,
at Harvey Road?
the acoustic.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, was he acoustic?
Yeah, remember he
Yeah,
had
good
no
was he?
band members.
I
It
know.
was just him sitting on stage, just really
Energy, though.
pulling it back to complete raw. Yeah, amazing.
But when?
Oh, that's what else is on this weekend. On, I think the Harvey Road Tavern have the 90s grunge show. There's a
What?
tribute on, and they're doing all the... I'm not a big fan of grunge, but I'm going to go because I like live music.
Absolutely.
So they have all the tribute bands,
So grunge,
tribute to
that'd
all the
be
90s
Kurt
bands.
Cobain.
Pearl Jam. That's the only one I know.
What band was Kurt in?
I don't know.
Kurt Cobain. He started grunge. He was the
Hang on,
man.
it might be on the list.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
If I show
So-
you, will you actually remember?
No, but that's okay.
So the it's called. Oh, it's tomorrow night. So it's called Outshined.
Outshine.
Yeah. So this is the bands. So Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana.
No, that's who was Kurt
That's him.
Cobain.
Yep. And Stone Temple Pilots
Right.
and Faith No More. Is it Faith
Faith
No More?
More's good.
Yeah, so they're the only.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Well,
but anyway, I'll go.
At least we've heard of
I'll
someone.
go and have a look.
I've heard of someone.
Yes.
Now, the big thing we were talking about last week is the whole skin thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got like
Amazing.
1 million views on that.
Actually,
you went like viral.
Yeah, we've had nearly 3,500 people have seen that video now.
Oh, I know.
What's happened since then? So we did the live on Friday, and then I actually went to the hospital that I'm going to have my surgery in, the Mater Private. I went up on the Monday, and I visited a friend of mine who I met in one of my plastic surgery groups, who's just had the surgery that I'm having, and I met her in person. So I actually got to meet someone who has had the surgery with my surgeon, and
good.
Amazing. She's so amazing. It's given me so much more confidence as far as the healing. She also works out like me, and she said it'll definitely have a much better impact on your healing because of your upper body strength. So the initial surgery I'm having, the lower body lift and thigh lift, she had them in September. She's just on last Friday had the back lift and arms done. So she's like one surgery ahead of me, but I was able to talk to her about the healing phase.
Was she still in hospital?
Yeah, she was. I visited her. She had the surgery Friday, and I visited her on the Monday. So I was able to actually have a look at her scars from the surgery she had in September, which is what I'm having done in June. So it was really great to actually meet someone. And I think one of the big lessons out of our conversation about this, and I was just actually talking to a friend before you arrived, is about being educated and being prepared. So if you, I suppose, are going into anything big in your life, whether it's opening a business or having a major surgery or even getting pregnant or anything, that's a big
Preparation
change or decision in your life, is to be educated and do your research. Because it's made me, with not being scared to ask all those questions to my surgeon, and actually arranging to be able to visit someone who's been through the same thing previously, it's just completely allayed any of my fears. So I think
I'm going to ask you some personal questions as the Harley goes past.
Yeah.
Anne Zahn, Simon Bowen, Craig Palmer. And
that's loud.
Yeah, I know. But you've got to do that, haven't you?
Hi, Craig, Simon, Inge.
Matt Jenkins. Matt was sitting over here the other day when we did the sex one.
Happy Friday, Turbo Tim.
Oh, I know. Happy Friday. I said, Matt, come and talk us through.
He's got a date with the roast dinner.
Yeah, Turbo's got to go.
Hey, Aaron and Michelle.
What a great time. I love Aaron and Michelle Sykes. Thanks for joining us. Michelle's sometimes up here. Now,
so what are your questions you have?
I've got a question. So I was down at one of my client sites today.
Yes.
She follows us religiously on Friday
Yes.
afternoon. I won't tell you who it is because I'll give it a client away.
That's okay.
And she said, can you ask Roz about the scars?
Yeah.
So she said, is it bad, the scarring, and is it, or do they manage that pretty well? So you saw something today?
So I asked my surgeon about that, and I spoke last week about the LED laser treatment.
Yeah, to get rid of the scars.
So there's special tape they put on your scar line. So the first thing was that I asked him was about getting the stitches taken out, but apparently all the sutures are dissolvable. So I don't have to have any sutures out. All the sutures that they use are dissolvable sutures. The treatment, the biggest thing is the lead up, the preparation. As far as minimising your scarring, your body has to be in peak performance as far as your level of protein that you're having. So my surgeon, months ago when I booked this, the one recommendation he gave me as far as my diet goes is you've got to massively increase your protein intake, because leading up to the surgery, protein helps you with minimising, like increasing healing and stopping your muscles from breaking down.
Of course.
So protein is a really big thing for making sure you nourish your body in preparation for this surgery. The LED treatments that they're doing, they're getting a lot quicker results. So Amanda, my friend who had the surgery that I visited in hospital last week, she had like I said, she had the lower body lift and thigh lift in September. She said her scars were fully healed in 4 weeks. Completely fully healed in 4 weeks.
You couldn't see anything on the body?
Well, you can see the scars, but the incisions have completely healed. I actually had a look at her scars from September, and they're very minimally visible.
So you're nothing to be worried about.
No, well, because it's going to be under clothes. So my biggest thing was the thigh lift because I was worried about, if you could see it, but they actually cut like inside the thighs so that when you're wearing pants or dresses, you really
won't see it.
And it's not right down to my knee. It'll be a bit higher up than I thought, which is good.
Oh, that's good.
But I can't even think of the name of the tape they use, but there's a special tape they use on the scars that's only changed, every week or something. So it actually helps with the healing of the incisions.
Cool.
But there's a lot of talk.
Like a Band-Aid?
It's a tape that runs along the incisions. But the biggest shock with me, because I was asking him about people advertise bio oil and all these things, and I asked my surgeon about that. But he said this stuff that they use, this Steriderm or whatever it's called, is that's all you need as far as minimising how visible the scars are.
Right, cool.
So, but you also have to remember, I'm 47. The scars are going to be in a place where no one's really going to ever see them anyway. So,
right. So you're not going to be down the beach.
No.
Sunbaking nude anymore.
The other
Have
thing
you
that
given
you
that
can, the other thing that you can do to minimise them is to have lost enough weight when they do the surgery. A lot of people, if their lower body, their BMI isn't low enough when they do the surgery.
What do you mean your BMI
It can actually. No, that's what I mean. If someone goes to the doctor to get the tummy tuck or whatever, and they haven't lost enough weight, it can actually impede their healing.
So you're saying if you don't wait until the right time, because it's just a function of weight loss. The more weight you lose, the more extra skin you're going to have.
Yeah.
Righto. So let's see who's joined us just in the last 5 minutes. As you gave me a kick in the leg when I asked you that naughty question before. Murray, Donna, Leone, Brendan Callaghan, Donna Ellis, Friday Fun Day. Murray Redmond, hello. Jason
Hey Donna, how's your week been?
Kerry Myers. Okay.
She joined back there. I missed you joining, Donna. Sorry.
Did you get any questions during the week from people that were interested?
Heaps of. I've been inundated with messages
How do you respond to all of that, girl? You're like a superstar.
Yeah, but it's mainly. I mean, there's people who are from my plastic surgery forums, and they send me stuff on Messenger, and they've all seen the video from last week, and there's a lot of people who are at the start of the weight loss surgery with the gastric sleeve, and they actually. They are like me because I started preparing 2 years ago for this, so they're starting to do research on surgeons and all that sort of stuff. So I think when you've been, so you want to look into, like I said, researching. You don't want to just say, oh, that's the surgeon I'm using without researching them, because it's a really big deal.
Oh, I get it.
Really big deal. So. But the biggest thing with, researching your surgeon is obviously you want to have a look at photos of before and after pictures of their results of what they've gotten. A lot of doctors cut in different places as well. So with the lower body lift, my doctor cuts quite low. So if you're wearing knickers, the scar's hidden anyway.
It sounds a bit like a Caesar scar.
It is a roundabout where the Caesar scar is. I've got two. Well, they cut you in the same place. Two Caesars. Yeah, I had two cesareans. So one was a really one. Yes, but the first one was in Emerald, and I got butchered because the doctor was like in a major hurry to go and play golf, and he cut me way bigger than he needed to, and it took me a really long time to heal from that.
Are you serious? A doctor
stitched me up because I was 150 kilos. He probably thought, oh, well, she's never going to be wearing a bikini, and he stitched me up like an old Hessian bag, and I had really lumpy scars. It was horrible. Right. So when I found out when I was pregnant with Sarah that I had to have a second cesarean, I was terrified because of remembering how much the pain was, but I had it done in Rocky with a surgeon that actually was close to retiring. He'd done thousands of them. And I got cut like this much. It was tiny. Yeah, it was so different. The experience, I healed really quickly. Just a completely different experience. So I was terrified.
Jason Hartwell is now a transport company owner, like Lindsay Fox. Kerry Myers, Donna Ellis, full on, Sunny Hay.
Oh, the Harbour Festival. Donna's been setting up for the Harbour Festival.
When's that next weekend?
When does that start, Donna?
It must start soon.
Is it Monday?
Maybe. Yeah, of course.
Because the week of Easter.
Of course. Can I share Jules' experience? And mine so Jules had 2 planned Caesars, which is good. Both our boys were born by Caesar. And like 6 months out, they ask you what you'd like your kid's birthday to be. What day do you think is a good day? Oh, whatever. I chose March 16th, forgetting it was Mum's birthday.
So you chose the date they were going to be born really early?
Yeah, 6 months out. Seriously.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow. Normally they don't pick that till like they see how you're going.
Oh, really? No.
They said, how close, very close to birth.
Well, at the due date. At the time, it was George Bush was one of them. Aaron Robinson starts Wednesday.
Yeah, Harbour
There you go.
Festival starts Wednesday. Thanks, Aaron.
No, George Bush said months and months out. He said about 37 weeks is the right time if they're happy and healthy.
Yeah.
So 37 weeks, he said it'll be about this time. Are you happy? And I think we said, let's go for Friday because that sounded better. So I think we did a Friday. And, and I remember Jules was there, and they had this sheet thing.
Yeah.
Like down the end of the, like at Jules' tummy level.
Yeah.
And the sheet was too low, and I could see over the top of it. I shit you not.
Really?
I shit you not. And like, so if you imagine Jules' head's here, and I was like down in here, like talking, you know, like seriously, right?
Because they have the sheet.
Because I could, and the last thing I remember, I shit you not, was the glint of the knife coming down.
Oh my
George
God,
Bush.
you saw that?
I said to
oh my God,
the
that would have
nurses,
been freaky.
freaking out. I thought, what the?
Oh my
going
God.
on here? And I thought, and I was like,
Oh,
no.
Anton, that would have been
And
like.
I didn't do or say anything. They said, "Oh, you're right, man." And I said, "Oh, not really. This is just a bit out there."
Yeah,
And they-
because
and I
it's
said, "The sheet's
confronting
too-
if you're
the
not
sheet's too
prepared
low,
for that.
Tony." So they said, put it, and then they put it to the roof, so I couldn't see shit, which was really cool.
Oh
so
my
Jules
God.
was there, and they brought out this little.
Jules didn't see it though. Them cutting her.
No, she didn't.
She was awake. She had an epidural.
Epidural free.
Yeah, it was nice. I actually remember them like pulling the babies out of me. But
Oh, I know. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
They said, "Do you want to cut the cord?" No. Why the?
Not after that. I just saw you cut my wife's belly open.
Oh, I know. And so they give us little toads, and off we went. He was nice and quiet, you know, very well behaved and placid.
And Zachy
as
was
he
like,
still is at 26.
was he loud and screaming?
Oh, I know, he did. So then we had the second one in Brisbane Vegas at the private hospital out there in the northern suburbs. Can't remember the name of it. And he came out.
Oh yeah.
I shit you not. As soon as he opened his mouth, he was making noise.
Yeah,
as soon as he
I would
got
expect that from
that's
Zach.
what he was, and they said the first words that they said was, "Gee, he's got good lungs. His lungs are working well."
Good on him, Zachy's.
And he hasn't shut up since.
I was going to say, and he hasn't.
He can talk and he can carry on.
Good.
Dr. Bush, most appropriate name.
Stuart.
He's a rat bag between Stewie and Beachy. They're my two crude mates. Thank you,
I know
Stewie, for adding that. It was Tracy Mulhern. So yeah, so we had two plant Caesars, and they just bring them out and they do their thing and give it half hour, as you know, or half hour, or how long did yours take?
I can't remember. The first one was very traumatic for me.
Was it?
Yeah,
was
very.
It that scarring thing?
Actually, yeah. I was just thinking because I used to work with a surgeon in Rocky called Dr. Baker, and then another one called
You're a
Dr.
nurse.
Butcher. Yeah.
Dr. Butcher.
Do you know what? I am
me
the
through
most
that.
emotional person when it comes to babies being born, whether it's a cesarean or naturally. Every single time when I was nursing, every single time a baby was born, I would burst into tears.
Really?
Oh my God, it's the most amazing thing. New life coming into the world. It was, next level exciting for me.
Jules' sister's
I find it so emotional.
especially when it's your own. It's even better.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And so I went to work in the morning. On Friday morning, I was in Brisbane, went to work in the morning, left at lunchtime, drove out. Bub was
Jules healed okay?
beautifully. Really
Good surgeon, see.
And that's right, we actually we did our prep.
Your surgeon, you've got to pick
doctors.
the good surgeon.
Well, to the point where when Toby was conceived, when we did that for Tobes, we were over in WA, and we actually didn't want Toby to be born in WA because, like, we were in a little country town, and the doctors there were more vets than doctors, and so
he was born in Gladstone
we
instead.
flew him all the way. We quit our job and came back here just so that we could come back. Seriously.
Oh, that's great.
We both had jobs on the mine, and we just quit them and drove back. Well, I was going to drive back, and Jules was too, and it was a year that, believe it or not, we had big floods in Mount Isa, so we couldn't drive back because the Georgina River went up.
Oh, okay.
So Jules had to fly back like 36 weeks pregnant, and they said, "Man, Jules, you can't drive. You're supposed to not fly, but get on a plane now and don't leave it any longer."
Oh, wow.
So as soon as we worked out what was going on, she had to fly back.
Oh, wow.
So,
And it all happened. The rest is history.
And the rest is history. So.
I think the biggest thing in all of that, though, is to make sure you do your preparation and research, because I have to say, when I was nursing, we didn't get to choose who we worked with, and there were doctors at the time that had reputations and, there was, a few cowboys around, and there always is, I think, in the medical industry. I saw a program on Sunday night a few weeks ago. On the Sunday night program, they had a story about a surgeon in Brisbane who was doing, he was not a registered plastic surgeon, he was doing breast implant surgery under like a twilight anaesthesia. So the women were half awake, and there was so many botched surgeries, and he's being investigated. And I think one of the biggest questions in my plastic surgery forums, people try to look for a cheap alternative and a quick fix. And I know that money is not always available to people, but when you look at, sometimes when the result, and that's not to say that, expensive surgeons don't make mistakes as well or have issues, but I think the biggest thing is to not be scared to question it. If your gut's telling you something and you're talking to a specialist or a doctor, or you hear information, don't ignore that. My biggest thing when I was nursing was, when you have a patient for you, it's like they always trusted the nurses, and they're saying, I'm not comfortable about this or that. I went into my surgeon's office last Friday with a massive list of questions, and you have to be in control. It's your body, and you need to be educated, and you need to not be scared to ask those questions about what you can expect, and be in control a bit, to because you have to get to that point.
Ownership.
And sometimes there's people who've come in and it's an emergency situation, like they've got an abdominal aneurysm or something like that, and the family have to make and as scary as that is, there's still times where I think you need to not be scared to ask questions and listen to your gut.
Scared to ask questions.
A lot of people are, though, because they think this person's a doctor, they're a professional, they're, this surgeon that they're investigating in Brisbane that they had this story on Sunday night about, he was like waking these women up halfway through their surgery and sitting their table up and asking them if they were happy with the size of their implants while they're half drugged out on anaesthesia. And he was saying, you need to tell me now, are you happy, or do you want bigger implants now? And these women were so drugged up. And even some of the times when the woman couldn't answer, he would FaceTime their husbands while they're sitting there with their breasts out and saying,
big enough?
You need to tell me now, your wife can't answer
serious?
me. Oh, God, yeah. This is like real case. They interviewed, there was about 20 women in this.
This sounds
was
unbelievable.
Awful. It was awful. And one lady said that the doctor FaceTimed her husband and the brother was there. So her brother and him were actually looking at the wife and sister sitting on the table with her breasts, and he's yelling at them saying, you need to tell me now. Now's your last chance. Are you happy with these implant sizes? That's like huge red flags. And a lot of the women, he didn't put them under enough. They would actually feel the pain of their scalpel cutting them. So they had their support person out in the car park waiting for them, and their support person could hear these women screaming on the table because they could feel this guy cutting them. So you need to,
You've got a bit solid.
you need to do your research, and I think that's the biggest thing out of this. With like Jill's picking the date for her Caesar and being comfortable with the surgeon, and you didn't take the risk of having it in a small town in WA, and so you've got to make sure that you, especially when you've got time, if it's elective surgery, you need to make sure you do your research.
And Donna's saying the same thing. She changed doctors because that doctor wasn't very forthcoming with the date. But good on you, Donna.
Absolutely.
Bradley,
hey, Leslie.
Hey,
Bailey. So I think you need to be in control of your decisions
Your
as
life.
Much as you can be, especially when it comes to medical stuff. So, because I had a friend I was talking to recently, I've had a huge challenge with my eyesight going since I turned 40. And a friend of mine actually has worn glasses his whole life. He went and had laser surgery on both his eyes, and he doesn't have to wear glasses anymore. Hey, Barb. Barb's had a big week. Yeah, they're not. Wind's blowing everything here. So he went and had, like they do one eye one day and the other eye the next day. And he's got 100% vision back in both his eyes, long and short distance. And he doesn't have to wear glasses anymore. See, I would love to get that done, but the risk of someone lasering your eye, it's scary. It's
Can I tell you
love
my
to know
story?
if anyone else who's had laser surgery on their eyes and got their sight 100% back.
Well, what about knee reconstructions? Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
So I was up in the Territory, and again, probably more like a vet than a doctor, I'm thinking this guy was. And he talked the talk.
Yeah.
And he said, so I went in there, I'd heard a pop in my knee, like really loud, like in my knee.
Were you running at the time? Like, or did it just happen?
Well, I was jumping on I had one leg up, stretching, and another guy was holding it. And I was hopping on this.
Okay.
And my ankle rolled in. Oh, no.
Makes me shiver.
So imagine this was my knee joint, and my knee joint
Oh,
ended up like
ouch.
that.
Okay.
and it literally, and it was, and
Ow, ow,
they
ow.
heard it literally down the other end of the footy field.
Oh my God.
100 metres away, they heard this pop, right?
Mm.
So I go to this doctor and I said, my knee popped. And he said, I don't think it's your ACL. I said, well, what? I said, I don't know much about knees, but something popped, and that's the thing in there that usually does that. No, I don't think that's what it is. So he said, I said, oh, great.
Was he a GP, not a specialist?
No, he was a knee doctor.
So he was actually a specialist, okay.
In Darwin. So he said, okay, I think it's more cartilage that you've done. I said, okay, cool. I'll go in and clean the cartilage out. So that's called an arthroscope.
Yeah.
So he said, I'll go and do an arthroscope. So he went in there, and guess what he found?
It was not the cartilage, was it?
No, it was the ACL.
It was exactly what you thought it was.
So it was too late. And not that I'm any expert
Could he fix that while you were open, though?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh,
So he
okay.
couldn't do it then because he wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah,
So then he said, I didn't do it, so you'll have to go away and go and get him. I said, okay, that's interesting.
yeah.
So then we moved down to Wollongong. Oh, and then by the way, he said, I repaired the cartilage for you while I was in there with pop rivets or something. So it seemed a bit weird.
Pop rivets.
Or something like that. That's
What sort
I
of
thought.
specialist
Oh,
was
I
it?
know. So we go down. So I go to Sydney then, and I said, stuff it. Because it's my knee, I actually took your advice. And I did the research. And I found Dr. Pinchevsky.
Wow.
So I went and saw this old, crusty old guy. Seriously. He would have been
expert.
He was 1,000. No, seriously. He was about this tall, 1,000 years old, grey hair. And I said, you've been recommended to me as the best surgeon in Sydney. He said, oh, well, thank you for that. He's very humble of me. And I said, have you done a few of these? He said, yes, I have done a few. I said, can you give me a number? He said, well, I've done 5,000. I said, oh, that's not bad. And he said, I've done 5,000 patella tendon grafts. And he said, till we worked out that wasn't the best way to do it. He said, so now we do the hamstring grafts.
So they were all guinea pigs for you, yeah.
And he said, I've done 6. See you, mate. Have fun. He said, I've done 6,000. 6,000 hamstring grafts. I said, you're my man.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Thanks,
He
girl.
was 1,000.
He wasn't, seriously. He was
1,000
years old. And so I said, great, Dr. Pinchevsky, North Sydney, can you do this thing for me? So he said, absolutely. So and I said, oh, he actually knew the doctor in Darwin, true story, so how weird's that? And he got in, and then after the operation, he said, man, that bloke really didn't do the right thing.
Oh, okay.
So he said, one, you can't repair cartilage.
Yeah.
2, every time you go in and do a knee operation, you've got to remove cartilage just to get at it.
Okay.
So he said, just by him doing the first one, you're down a third of cartilage.
Ooh.
Then I've got to take a third out to get into what I've got to do. So you're down
So
another.
can they cartilage graft to put any back?
Not then they can put it. Now I believe they can.
So you've got a third of the cartilage in your knee.
Only a third of the
Normally,
cartilage left.
wow, and you can still run and everything. That's amazing.
Get this, little Dr. Pinchevsky
Yeah.
says to me, gets me back in the office after the
You recovered, and yeah.
He said, I'll see you back here within 5 years. I said, you're not, mate, there's 0 chance. I said, talk me through it.
Yeah.
Talk me through that, old mate.
Yeah.
Talk me through that, old mate, I said. He said, 50% of knee recons I see back within 5 years on the same knee or the other knee.
Wow.
True story. I
I wonder if a lot of those people are elderly. You know how when you're old,
could be.
I wonder how many of the 6,000 were
Repeat.
business.
Yeah. So I said to him, I guarantee you, Doc, there is 0 chance you'll see me back. And he said, I don't believe I'll see you back. He said, I could.
How long ago was that?
2002.
So you haven't been back?
No, never.
Wow.
And now
So you cope with that little amount of cartilage in your knee then?
Well, can I tell you? Here's the story. Yeah. This is what happened. So before the operation, I went to, because we were living in Wollongong, and this is for all the knee recons out there who now have this 6 or 12 month recovery.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you need all that. So I rang a physio who worked for the Illawarra Steelers at the time.
Yeah.
Illawarra. So I rang a physio and said, and I did my research, you're the best physio. You work for all the footballers. Can I come and see you? No.
Wow.
True story. Because he said, I can't see you after your knee recon, unless I see you before your knee recon.
Oh, so because you've already been to another surgeon, he wouldn't see you.
He said, oh, you haven't had your recon yet? I said, no. He said, well, if you come before, I'll see you.
Yeah.
I said, great, I'll be there Monday before the Tuesday surgery. He said, cool. Right.
Oh, cool.
Because what he had to do, have you ever had your ITBs right there?
No.
For any athletes out there, for anyone that's had tight legs, they'll understand ITBs, which is your
No idea.
iliotibial band.
Okay.
It's the one that runs up
Oh, yeah.
the outside of your leg, right? The outside of your leg.
So what do they do to rub it out? Oh, okay, yeah, they do that on my lower leg, like because of my cold feet for the
That's it.
lymphatic drainage. It
Same
hurts like a mofo.
Nothing like it. No pain like an ITB rub.
I honestly, it's like
And-
knives going up my leg,
I'm feeling you, mate.
and I get that done every fortnight.
Oh, I know. And he was a sadist. He said, I really enjoy this. It's a true story. He said,
I'm sure a lot of them do, hey.
and he said, because what happens is so here's your knee joint. What happens is when you've done this, your ITB picks up all of the work to straighten your knee up.
Okay.
It turns the muscle
Oh,
on the
and that's
inside.
why
It turns that off. Did you know your brain turns that muscle off?
Wow.
It turns it off. That's why they shrink. So you'll see people with knee recon that muscle on the inside of their knees turned off.
Wow.
So anyway, so I got that done. The next day, so I went and saw the Dr. Pinchevsky, and he said you'll get osteoarthritis in your leg because you only have a third cartilage left. I said I don't agree with that either. I said thanks for your opinion. I don't take your advice. I choose not to get osteoarthritis. True story. And he looked at me seriously because I said,
Like you've got any say in it?
that's
Anton?
right.
That's what he'd be thinking.
That's what he was saying. I'm the doc. I know everything. I said, well, doc, I choose not to. And he said, 2 things I want you never ever to do again. Get this. Never run for fitness.
Get out of here.
Get out of town. Get out of town. And then he said, don't get fat. So, see, here's the dichotomy. Here's the interesting challenge. Hello, Tony Guinea. Hello, Shannon Harvin. Hello, Rebecca Scarborough. Here's the interesting thing.
Rebecca.
What burns most calories in your life is running because it's just a calorie burn. Hard on your knees. But if you're not moving a lot, and maybe I could have chose cycling instead of traveling, if you're not moving a lot, I'm going to get fat. So I believed him on the running. And I said, well, I better not run ever again. I got a load of crap. So for 5 years I didn't run, and I just blew out and blew out and blew out.
So one created the other.
I know. So I became a big fat ass, as you do, until finally I decided not to be anymore. So I went and did bodybuilding. So I said, well, I can't run for fitness, so I better go and lift weights instead.
Which also burns fat.
Yeah, exactly. So we got on stage and we did bodybuilding competitions. Did I tell you about that?
Did you?
Yes.
Did you, Anton?
Yes. In the
We have
undies.
never talked about that. You did bodybuilding competitions. Oh my God.
I'll have to show some photos
Yeah, you
after this.
will. Did you do the spray tanning and the...
In the undies.
Anton, I've
and the
learned
whole-
something about you
And the whole,
today.
like the whole dancing thing and the whole...
Are you serious?
Very serious. You love it.
How
It's a
did
good
I not
story.
know that?
So
That's
did Tony
amazing.
and his dad, Joey. Me and Joey were on stage
Joey,
together.
oh wow.
And we were doing our thing, and it was... We got on video. Like our video.
Hey Nancy.
And you had to get...
even here today?
And you had to actually get trained to do that because there's special poses.
I
that
cannot.
you do.
Yeah, my friends. I've got friends who do it. I had no
Been
idea.
there, done
Oh, I
that.
want to see photos of
I'll
that.
show you. Actually, we might even put them up.
We
on
are.
stage.
Yes, please.
We'll
No,
share 'em.
share them in the comments.
All right, I'll share
Share 'em in the comments.
Happy to.
How'd you do with it?
How did I do what?
How did you do it at it? Like, did you win comps and
Yeah, I
stuff?
got 5th in Queensland. out of
Anton
5.
Guinea, how did I not know this?
I was 5th.
You so need to put
I'll put
the photos in the comment.
I'll do it now. So
Wow.
anyway, what happened was, so we lost. Do you know Aaron Williams from Golden Chicken or whatever? Is it Golden Chicken?
Maybe.
So it was the days when the 16-week challenge and the 12. You know when that first started? No one had ever heard of that before.
Yeah.
It first started like 10 years ago.
Wow.
And there was photos in the Uralla gym of this big bloke who's a real
Yeah.
big fat ass, 16 weeks.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sucked into this skinny and did a bodybuilding comp. Joe and I walked in and said, "Fuck, that's for us, excuse the language. We've got to do this."
Yeah.
16 weeks. And it happened to be, believe it or not, 16 weeks to the bodybuilding
You
comp.
got to train pretty hard to be in a comp. You must have been lifting
Lost
your ass off.
26 kilos in 16 weeks.
Wow.
Joe and I were in Mr. Puny birthday because all we did was lost weight. We didn't get big, we just lost weight. And but mind you, we had some big abs. We had
In
abs.
Queensland.
Yeah, out of 5. Yeah, I know this sounds funny, but this is
Well
really
done.
serious. Oh, I know, it was good. So what happened was we went to this bodybuilding comp and we stripped down. We were like
To your undies and...
to the undies.
No, you're all right. Wait, no.
So we're down to 6% body fat, skinny as mofos. And because we hadn't eaten anything for about 16 weeks, literally, we just ate like mofos after. We put 10 kilos on in a weekend.
I bet you did.
I shit you not. Because when we went to Debbie, do you remember Debbie Primer?
Yes.
She did our body fat.
Oh, wow.
And she pulled out the calipers.
Yeah.
She said, I need bigger
Measures,
ones.
yeah.
I need bigger ones. And she pulled our skin together.
Wow.
And then she put these big calipers on. And I was 23% body fat. Joe was 26. Oh, yeah, like we were boppers, man.
Wow.
We were boppers. We lost it all.
That's amazing. Isn't it amazing, though, how quickly you can do that?
Oh,
and that's what Amanda was saying in hospital the other day, that my surgeon said that after the surgery, you've got to just eat whatever, donuts, yeah, he said, because your body's in healing mode and you need to just food. Yeah, because we've had the sleeve surgery and you just don't feel very hungry because you're healing. And he just said, you got to eat, you got to keep nourishing your body. He said, I don't care if it's biscuits, donuts, whatever, carbs or protein or whatever you can get into you. So now, before we go any further, have you got dinner tonight? Because it's actually 5:30.
I don't think I know.
All right, so I don't want you to be late because I don't want to make Jules. So
she'll be up. Oh shit!
It's really dark.
Battery power 13%. Tani, Nancy, Tony, Lewis, Damien, Melissa, Georgia, Louise. Can I tell you what happened then?
Hi guys. Hey, yeah, keep going.
So we went from we did the bodybuilding comp, and in about 5 weeks we were back to 26% body fat. Seriously.
Wow. Oh my god.
After a month, because we ate because we hadn't eaten for a month.
Yeah, so you were like, bring it on.
So much. So then we had to do
another. You had fun doing it.
Oh, yeah. So then we said, well, there's only one way to do this. We've got to do it again. So we did another one.
Really?
We did it again.
Oh my god.
So we never talked about
this.
Oh, I can't wait to show
So was that easier than preparing for a marathon with your running? So you preferred running?
Bodybuilding. You can't eat.
No, you've got to lean. Oh, it's
sex.
My friends have.
Because you lose your sex drive.
Oh my
God.
Can't.
I have no energy. You know, when I was on keto, like last.
When your 5 love languages changed.
Oh yeah. It wasn't physical touch.
Wow.
You know, when I was on keto before Christmas.
Yeah, and you were down. You were a zombie. I didn't like that.
That was good compared to bodybuilding.
Really? No, I didn't like it when you were like that.
If you got Jules on, she'll tell you about that. She still says we were very hard to live with.
Wow, I bet you were. That's what happens when you starve yourself too.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Lose heaps of weight.
Hey guys. Hey Melissa, George.
So we did another bodybuilding comp, and after the second one, what do you reckon we did?
You didn't do another one.
Went and got fat again.
Oh, yeah.
Straight out again. So we were going doing this.
That's bad for you, hey?
Apparently.
The yo-yo thing's really bad. Yeah, well, I've heard too. I've heard many times over the last 40 years.
You would have.
Because that's what I've done. Weight Watchers, lose weight, put it back on. Jenny Craig, lost weight, put it back on. Have you heard of the clothesline diet? I even tried there's a book called The Clothesline Diet, and this lady wrote this book about how she was too embarrassed to go out in the street walking. So she actually started her weight loss journey by walking around the backyard around her clothesline. So the book that is about her, and she called it The Clothesline. I tried everything, Herbalife, bloody every shake and pill and bloody. Yeah, honestly, and it was yo-yoing all the time. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, well, I'm stable. I've literally been stable within 2 kilos for over a year. Just manageable. So it's a relief. It's exhausting doing that.
It is.
For your whole life, that up and down, up and down, up and down. And the worst thing is, every time you lost enough to start feeling good about yourself, you would relax and you'd start eating again, and then that's the vicious circle. And then you think, I don't have to walk today because look how awesome I feel amazing. And it's the worst thing. And that's why with the sleeve, it's a tool. So I can't overeat.
That's right.
And I always watch what I eat. So.
And then
your battery's low.
No, that's okay. It should be right. Oh yeah, I should plug it in. No, I can't. No, it's all good. Have you got a Samsung charger?
Oh no, I hate Samsung. Why would I have a Samsung charger? I hate Samsung.
So anyway, we came to our third one. I'd booked in for a third bodybuilding comp.
Yeah. But
a mate of mine says to me, Guins, we've got to go running.
Were you nervous about that after what the surgeon said about running again? Like when he said you can never run again, that would have been nerve-wracking.
Because I was 99.9 kilos when I started running.
But you've also only got a third of the cartilage left in your knee, and you can't replace
way overweight.
That. Yeah.
But I said, and this mate of mine who was 13 years older than I was.
Yeah.
He was in his late 40s when this was going on. And I said, well, he's late 40s. He's the same age as I am now, just about. because I was in my early 30s, and he's been running since he was 17. Mark McLaren's his name, one of my favourite blokes on this planet. He has, just such a great guy. He's he was one of my mentors, got me into running, signed us up for a half marathon, my first ever half marathon in Melbourne. And it was the same weekend as my third bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So he'll tell you this story many, many times, and he's told it forever. He took me for a run. We were working in Emerald. He said,
"You took it easy the first time. I'd imagine you would have been waiting for your knee to go snap."
And I pushed hard to keep up with him. Yep. Well,
so you weren't worried? So I'd be scared about my knee.
No. Well, what I've worked out, and I didn't know this at the time, is that if you run in a straight line, your knees don't have the opportunity to do this. Since I've started triathlon and running, my knee has got 1,000 times better.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because my knee and
how soon after that surgery did he tell you 5 years? I'll see you within 5 years. So he said you would have to have
a surgery again in 5 years, and I said there's no way I was going to do that.
And you haven't had any issues with your knee?
Oh, absolutely. You have. When I don't train, if I'm not running and cycling, my knee gets sore. My knee gets sore. So don't believe everything.
Keeping those muscles like it, supports around the tendons.
It's like you said.
And it makes such a difference because I've had 2 weeks off. It's going to kill me on Tuesday.
Go back.
In saying that, my trainer says it's sometimes good to actually have a break because your body gets used to the weights, and so if you have a week off, it's actually good. And I actually found probably about a month ago, I took a week off from training and went back, and I actually could lift more because she said she said your body actually gets it's like the repetitiveness of it. Yeah. So having a week off can sometimes help you.
No, I agree.
But I've had 2 weeks off, so I'm going to suffer so badly on Tuesday, I can tell you.
Absolutely. So Mark and I, and then in the end, 3 of us signed up for this first half marathon.
So you didn't end up doing the third bodybuilding competition?
The half marathon was on the same weekend.
Oh, what a shame. I know you're going to choose running every single time.
So I went I'd never had before. And this was my first time.
And you fell in love with it, didn't you?
Fell in love with running.
Dying to see these photos when you find them. So I am stunned that I can't believe you.
Now, I'm just going to put this down. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can multitask here.
Yeah, well.
And Ros is going to talk you through it because I don't think I can attach him, but I'm going to show you this. Now, so what...
Anton's trying to find his bodybuilding pics.
Photos. INBA.
Oh, wow.
You get this is going to spring out.
I cannot believe it. We have never talked about this. Of all the things you've shared.
This is me on stage, some of those photos there. Now, so we took up
So where was that held?
Brizzy. So we took up running, and I did my first half marathon with Pete Jensen and Mark. So Mark pulled out. So there's 16 weeks of photos. Sorry, team out there in Facebook Live.
Yeah, he's just searching for the photos.
So we did our first half marathon.
Oh my God! Look at you all tanned up. Is that you?
Yeah, and I got hooked. I got hooked on running.
Oh my God, Anton, look at you.
Isn't that cool?
Look at the tan.
Oh, no. So I got hooked on running.
Oh guys, you waited to see this.
I'll put that up later. So I got hooked on running, and then we don't do things in halves at the Guineas, as you know.
No, you don't.
So we went from a half marathon to what's a longer distance that we can run. And Mark and I said, I hear they do 100k race. So we signed up for one of them in Australia.
Wow.
I've been running like a month. We signed up for 100k run the next year. So we said, it can't be that hard. Seriously, it can't be that hard. So we went and did that. And after a while, I thought running on its own was good. Hey, look who's just joined us.
Hey, Sarah, my lovely Sarah, my baby girl.
Running on its own is good, but if you're only doing one sport, it's a bit boring.
Yeah.
So I said there's got to be something else that you can do with running, cycling and swimming.
So you started the tries. What did Joey do? What did he decide after you put the weight on after the second competition?
He hasn't done anything since.
So he's not a runner?
He did a triathlon. No, he didn't. He hasn't done. He did one try with us, or 2 tries, and then he hasn't done much since, which is a real shame.
That's interesting, yeah.
So I would love to do it with Joey.
Sarah, hey Sarah, my beautiful girl.
So the message out of all of that is that I say to doctors, appreciate your opinion.
Yeah.
But just don't take your advice. I don't want to be back. The running was something, and I think it's probably more the cycling that's helping even the running. Because you use those big muscles for cycling.
Yeah, and muscle. It's amazing the muscle, how much muscles actually, can help, like to reduce your pain.
and stability.
I think I've talked before about the fact the lady that Kay Longdon she's from the Body Clinic and she does my massage every 2 weeks and it helps with my circulation and everything. And she was explaining to me when you're a really big person, a lot of what holds you up is your bulk. It's like if you wrap a pole in bubble wrap. A lot of what holds you up is your sheer bulk. So your muscles and tendons become actually a bit weak.
Really?
Because your bulk actually helps to hold you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you lose a lot of weight like I have, it's made my muscles and tendons, they haven't worked the way they're supposed to. So she said, she's the one that actually said you need to start doing some weightlifting to build your muscle strength.
That's where your weightlifting.
I used to have issues with my neck. And from Essential Body Personal Training had been chasing me to start because I kept saying, I want to come see Ange, I want to come see you. Like when Kay said to me, you need to start, because she gets in and does the elbow massage and she knows my body better than anyone because she's studied anatomy so much, and she was saying it will help you so much when you strengthen the muscles in your neck and your back. And I used to get the worst lower back pain. I used to get the worst neck pain and knee pain.
Is this after you'd lost all the weight?
Yeah, after I'd lost all the weight. Yeah, my whole skeleton was weak. Not as much, to be honest. Not as much.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, and she just said you need to build the muscles, and working on your body and building the muscle, it will actually help your skeleton do the work it was supposed to be doing. So, and that's what puts so much strain on your knees and everything because you haven't got that muscle strength. So I can't say enough how much my neck pain, my back pain, it's just completely, almost completely gone. My lower back pain, my knee pain from weightlifting, just from lifting weights and building my muscle. It's amazing the difference it has made to me.
Can I tell you a funny story? So this week, hot off the press.
Come on.
So I've got foot problems. I've told you that, haven't I?
Yes.
I've got bone bruising, so I can't run, I can't ride. But I've got a massive year of triathlons.
Yeah.
So I've had to push some out, and I'm doing it all indoors. So I'm on the indoor bike, and I'm on the elliptical trainer to take the pressure off my feet. No running, elliptical.
You don't swim. Swim to help. Yeah. Okay. Because that's obviously not.
But it doesn't have running and
weight
riding.
impacting. Yeah. Yeah.
So I go back into the gym this week, and because I'm in there doing the bike, I look over in the weights room. There's a few old buddies in there that I know from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I don't know if you've ever had this experience, when you think, well, I used to be able to do that. It can't be that hard.
Yeah, I have.
Big deal.
Sometimes there's alcohol involved.
That's right. So I go over to
I used to be able to
do that, and nothing's changed in the gym. They're all in the same place.
You didn't go and
straight up.
You've strained yourself straight up.
Well, I don't know about straining myself, but
what did you do, Anton?
Biceps, straight into biceps.
Oh my God, you can't do that.
Straight into biceps. Well, I'm male, that's what we do.
Yeah, I know.
And then straight into traps.
Testosterone.
Oh, I know. There's this machine where you can, the ropes machine where you can.
Yeah, and you put, yeah.
Like that. So of course, you load that bad boy up.
God, I can't believe you did that.
So, and all
you started on a high weight too.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to start small.
No. That'd be way too
Anton, that's silly.
I went home and I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Jules was saying you're a peanut.
Exactly.
And all week at work, so every time I move, it's because I'm presenting and I got my arms going, and every time I move, they think that, and I didn't tell anyone.
I reckon that's one of the work when I do those. That is
hex.
And the flies, when I do the fly, I swear to God, that is one of the worst pains across your chest. It's apparently what helps hold women's boobs up, though. These muscles. Yeah.
I did say thought I had a heart
Nothing's
attack.
going to make mine come back up, but anyway.
Okay.
But that's what gives you pecs as a man. So that's what builds you. That's what builds you. Yeah. So the muscles across your chest. You don't realise what you've got though until you start working
using them.
Because when Kay massages me and she massages in under my arms and that, and it's presses and it lifts me through the roof if I've been doing fly. It's and my trainer knows I hate them. That's
really?
my
the things you don't like. So they give you more of them.
Yes, I hate that. So at least got to start wrapping up soon. It's nearly an hour.
So I go back into the gym for the first time, thinking that I hadn't not gone there and just
you suffered
all week.
You suffered.
And I did my first RPM class on a spin bike where you got someone up the front spinning.
That's really I've watched
that was
videos of that and it's
cool.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, you done cycling, haven't you?" And I knew her. I
No,
said, yeah.
don't they say go and you've got to
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then stand up. So,
Oh, man.
so it's insane. It was off tap. So I've had a really good weekend.
That's good.
But it was nice being back in the gym because we spent like probably 2 to 3 years, twice a day lifting heavy weights.
Wow.
And it was only triathlon that tore me away from it. So
Yeah.
really, it was nice.
You should do that often, though, just
I know,
to get
I'm
back
gonna-
into
again.
weights. It's really fun. I love my weights.
Yeah. Well, girl,
Okay. Time to wrap it up, I
Time to
think.
wrap
It's
it
getting
up.
dark.
It is. And I've got to get home and see my lovely
You
wife.
do.
I've been out of the house.
Winter, it's getting cold. I had to go home and put a jacket on.
That's because you're so skinny.
Yeah, I've got no body fat.
Oh, no. You're going to have no body skin soon too.
Yes.
Right.
But everyone have a great weekend. There's heaps to do in town.
And Easter.
Thank you for
As
last
always.
week and this week. And
So
we will
we're not going to see you next
catch up.
Friday.
No,
'cause
Good
it's-
Friday
yeah,
next Friday. So we're taking a break.
Good.
Everyone have an awesome Easter
Absolutely.
and
Does
take
the
care.
Easter
Stay
bunny
safe. No chocolate for me.
No Easter bunny.
Makes
Of
me
course,
sick.
Of course.
So
Toby and Zach.
have a great
Easter.
Easter with family and whatever you're doing. We're going to a family reunion up in Yapoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, next to your knife and your fork. Yapoon's next to your knife and your fork. Sorry, on that note, my funny Easter joke. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great family time. And we'll see you after Easter.
Thanks, girl.
Bye,
See ya.
guys.